guys, it's Wilson. This video is to get you guys ready to 3D print. So we are starting with SolidWorks, and I have a piece here that I designed to 3D print. You guys will find these around the shop as part of our dust collection system. Part is done, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is go to File, save it, and then go to File, Save As. So when I first saved it, I saved it as an SLD PRT, solid part, and that saves my editable geometry, right? I can go back in and fix this later if I want. But now I'm going to save it as an STL. This stands for stereolithography file. You can look up the details on that, but that's an old 3D printing technology, and this is the standard file for all 3D printing. So I'm going to make sure that I save it somewhere intelligent. Here it is in my Google Drive. It's in my school folder, in my personal projects, in my SolidWorks personal projects. And you can see here I have the other STLs for this large project. I'm going to hit save. I've already saved it, but I'll save it again. This is okay, it's just giving me a sense of how complex it is. 5,600 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, they're all there. All right. And we're good. So next we need to go into another piece of software in order to 3D print. You guys will find this on your desktop as Prusa Slicer. You can also search Prusa. And it looks a little something like this. Extremely easy to use because this is the slicer that came with the printers. First thing you need to do is make sure that these don't say default. It's very important that you have the Prusa i3 Mark III's chosen as your type of printer. If you don't see these like here, you need to go over here to Configuration. Configuration Wizard. Hit Next. Come down here to Prusa i3 Mark III S. Sorry, it's the first one right here. And make sure that you choose a 0.4 millimeter nozzle because that's what you will be printing with. Once you choose that and hit Finish, you will see these look like that. If they don't, come get help. Once you have the software configured right here, we come over here to the Add button. And let's add that part. You'll notice, because I have my files organized, that it's very easy for me to go to Mount Lake Terrace High School, Projects, SolidWorks, and Wastegate to Flange is what I'll be printing today, and there we go. All right, if I put this in here and I print it like so, and I slice it, meaning creates the file, we get this. Now the problem here is if I go through, this is really cool by the way, I'm looking at each layer that it's going to print. And this all looks well and good until I get to this first layer right there. How does it print those layers floating in space? It's impossible. What I need to do is go back here to my editor view. This is the preview, is what I'm playing with now. Go back to editor view. And I'm going to go to supports here, and I'm going to add some supports on the build plate. Now, there's different options here. You guys should play with those. Each one's going to do something a little bit different, and you will see what it does in the preview. Wait for this to slice. All right, and now look at this elaborate structure in green that the software has developed in order to support those layers as it builds. Now, each part is going to have some different requirements as far as support and stuff. honestly, I designed this part to use this button here, place on face, click here, and it rotates it into an orientation where I don't need support. I could support these, which I would need to use support everywhere, but I know how this is going to print, and it's just going to get kind of ugly and droopy over here, but the part will function fine. I'm not going to mess with supports. Other options here, I have a tool to rotate the orientation of my part as needed. I can scale it, although be careful because the size of your part might be important. I can cut the part in half if it's so big I need to print it on separate parts. And I can even paint supports into custom areas or remove supports as needed. Don't know what seam painting is. All right, once I have it in the orientation I want, I hit slice one last time. All right, guys, the part has sliced. Hopefully at this point you guys have gone to the 3D printer that you want to use and grabbed this. This is an SD card. Can't remember what SD stands for at this point, but one thing I want you guys to notice is there's this little switch right here, and that locks or unlocks the card. And this one doesn't show you what direction unlocked is, but if the switch is towards the business end of this, the part you put into the computer, this will work. If not, and it's locked, you're going to have a problem. So let's make sure it's unlocked. We will put it into the computer, and what you guys will notice down here is this button appeared. This button is going to allow us in one click to get this saved to our removable disk. I would give it a meaningful name. I'm going to call this Wilson's Wastegate. That way I know what to look for when I'm on the printer. We hit save. Save status down here. And once it's complete, it's always a good practice to eject your SD cards instead of just pulling them out of the computer. Now that we've unmounted that SD card, we can remove it. And go ahead and watch the next video to see how to put this in the printer, set up the printer, and successfully run it apart. Catch you guys later.